Hi everyone, this is Damian Fury. Welcome to the first installment of my Iron Grip Marauders Noob Tactics videos. This video will cover the basics of playing at the very beginning of the game. While watching, bear in mind that this is not the only way to play the game. This is merely the way that works for me, and I hope it helps you. Alright, enough of this introduction crap. Let's get on to playing. For the first few scenarios in this series of videos, we'll stick to raids because they're pretty straightforward. You pick your equipment and then you start the battle. In this case, if you look, you'll see that I have selected Arcos, Militia, Bazookas, Mounted Bombers, and Amelia. The Militia and the Arcos are there to deal with infantry units that I might encounter. The Bazookas are there to deal with vehicles and buildings. The Mounted Bomber is there to function as a scout and, if needed, as bait. As for Amelia, you have to have a hero, and I think Amelia is much better than Vancer. Now that I've got all of my units set up, it's time to start the game. The first thing I'm doing is I'm moving my Mounted Bomber. You'll notice that I only moved him 4 APs and then turn back. That's because he's working as a scout. I don't want him to get too far away from my units so that he doesn't get surrounded. The fact is, Mounted Bombers are weak. They get killed easy. After scouting, I move my units forward to form a line in preparation for the battle ahead. Along the way, I'm using up all of my extra move points on blowing up those nearby structures in order to garner a little XP out of it. During the enemy turn, keep your ears open. What you hear can give you an idea what's hiding behind the fog of war, be it a lot of cavalry, a lot of vehicles, maybe just a lot of infantry. From listening, I could already tell that the enemy's on its way, so I don't need to do much more than sit and wait. I'll finish off the silos and keep scouting until they show up.
Wake up, it's your turn. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
I'm just keeping an eye out because as long as that fog is opened up, it won't close until the end of the enemy's turn. That means that if they're moving during that turn, I'll see them up here. So I've looked to the right, I haven't seen anything for a while, so I'm looking to the left. Still nothing showing up, not sure what's going on, but, you know, I'm sure it'll all become clear in time. Oh look, they found me.
Wake up, it's your turn.
So it looks like we've got Hasseltot. She's got long range and she does bullet damage. And then we have 2 Mounted Bombers who are really susceptible to bullet damage, so that's what I did. A moment ago, you saw one of the nice things about the Arcos. It does splash damage. Take note of units that have splash and use them against clusters whenever possible. In later levels, you'll get much more powerful units like rocket artillery and royal artillery, which have some tremendous damage, and their splash can often kill multiple units in one shot. Scouting ahead is revealed there's another Mounted Bomber coming. I probably shouldn't have taken this scout so far in, however, as I wasn't able to get outside of Hasseltot's range. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll pass it up.
Affirmative. Attacking. Reporting. Infantry out. Open fire.
Remember that your units cannot move through each other, so you need to make sure to leave paths open if you intend to pull something towards the front line and attack.
Acknowledge. Attacking. Yes, sir. Wake up, your turn.
Now that Hasseltot is dead, it's time to prepare for the bazooka units that moved into view on the enemy turn. To do that, I'm rearranging my battle line so that my anti-infantry units are in front. They have better range than the bazookas, so I should be able to engage them before they have a chance to shoot back. Range is a key factor in my unit selection. It's always better to be able to shoot the enemy before he can shoot me. This is why I stood back and just set my lines up. I wanted to force the enemy to spend its entire turn moving so that I could shoot first. At all times I try to be cognizant of exactly how much of a chance I have of killing that particular unit. Because I'm facing all infantry, my goal is to reduce the damage they can do on their turn. In this case, that might mean stopping attacking one weakened unit and weakening another, because every time I kill one of their little squad members, it reduces the overall damage output. Remember when I talked about leaving room for your units to maneuver? I failed to do that here, and so now I have a bazooka troop that isn't going to be able to fire. I'm going to instead have to move it a little out of the way to give room for the Arcos to engage. The major advantage of having a mechanized unit like the Arcos as opposed to the militia is that the damage output is not affected when that unit is hurt. So, in the case of militia, when they get hurt, they lose individual members of the squad, and that lowers their damage output. The Arcos does the same damage until it explodes. Well, that concludes the first installment of my Noob Tactics series. I hope you found this useful, and if you've got any specific questions, feel free to ask them in the comments or ask me in-game. Also, keep an eye out for my next video where I discuss what I call the Eddie tactic.